Hey everyone, welcome to the very first video of my video game collection overview. Today I'm focusing on my Nintendo DS and 3DS games. So let's go ahead and get started with my Nintendo DS collection. First up is Chibi-Robo Park Patrol. The funny thing about this is it says it's only available at Walmart, and I think that it was a Walmart exclusive when it first came out for some weird reason, but I wound up buying this online. So I was a big fan of the GameCube game Chibi-Robo, and this one is a bit different. You're in a park and trying to grow flowers and make the park more attractive. And you know, honestly, I don't really like the setup of the game. The graphics are fairly nice for the DS. I mean, it's a full 3D world, but the controls, the touchscreen controls, aren't very well done, and I'm just not a huge fan of the game. Next up are Dragon Quest VI: Realms of Revelation and Dragon Quest IX: Sentinels of the Starry Skies. I've been really wanting to get into some of these RPGs. But to be honest, I haven't really played too much of these, but I've heard really good things about this series, and I've been really wanting to get into them. Next up, Final Fantasy: The Four Heroes of Light. This is a pretty interesting game. Again, I haven't gotten very far in this at all, but the graphics are nice. Has a very nice artistic look to it. But yeah, I mean, it's Final Fantasy game. Next up, we have Legend of Zelda: Spirit Tracks. Haven't gotten too far in this one. You know, I'm really not a big fan of the DS Zelda games. I don't really like the touch controls. I much prefer the kind of Link Between Worlds style of gameplay for like a portable Zelda game. But yeah, I mean, this one's still okay. Next up, Picross 3D. I really enjoy Picross. It's just really fun. I played the original one, and this one just brings it into 3 dimensions. Makes it a little bit harder, honestly, but this is just a really fun puzzle game. I really enjoy it. Next up, we've got Pokemon Ranger Guardian Signs. To be honest, this is the only Pokemon game I have ever played, and I'm probably going to get a lot of hate mail and comments about that. But, you know, it was just something that I never really got into, but I think I'm going to try to rectify that. I know this is not like a regular Pokemon game. You go around capturing different Pokemon by using the stylus to draw circles around them, and yeah, I mean, I haven't played too much into this one, but I mean, it was okay for what I played. Next up, we've got Professor Layton and the Last Spectre. I heard a lot of good things about these games, and I finally picked them up, and they're really good. I'm a big, you know, puzzle brain teaser game lover, and some of the puzzles in these are pretty hard. I mean, I haven't beaten really any of the Layton games, but they're really fun games, and yeah, I'm hoping to pick up some more of them. Next up is Professor Layton and the Unwound Future. And then the final Nintendo DS game I have is WarioWare Do It Yourself. I really enjoyed the WarioWare games on the Game Boy Advance when it first came out, but honestly, I understand what they were trying to do with making your own games, but I don't think it works too well on here. And it kind of, it's like I bought this to play minigames, not to make them, you know, which I guess was my fault, but yeah. Alright. Oh, and there is another DS game that I have, but I must have misplaced it in the move. It is Aliens Infestation. It's kind of like a Metroid Vanias type game. But a pretty neat game. I've enjoyed it so far. So let's go ahead and get into my 3DS games. First up is Crosswords Plus. As I said, I really like puzzle games, and Crosswords to me is just fun. And the way it's done on the 3DS, it's done fairly well. It really doesn't have much of a 3D feature, other than I think when you win a puzzle, it'll have like, you know, congratulations or something like that pop up in 3D, but that's pretty much it. For the most part, this is pretty much like a DS game, but fun overall. And this has over 1,000 puzzles, and there's new content with Spot Pass, and you can share puzzles with Street Pass and stuff. So, a fun little game. Next up, Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. This is the game I picked up when I got my 3DS XL, and I really enjoyed this game. This game really shows the graphic capabilities of the 3DS. This game looks great. I love the graphics on this game. The game's a lot of fun. This is, if you're gonna pick up a 3DS, definitely look into this game. Next up, we've got Mario and Luigi Dream Team. I've always been a big fan of the Mario RPGs, from the Superstar Saga, Partners in Time, to the other DS titles. But this one is pretty much like that, except you go into Luigi's dreams, and you can mess with Luigi in the real world, which will affect his dreams. It's kind of funny. It's like you can pull his mustache and affect things in his dream. But really cool game. Next up, Paper Mario Sticker Star. Haven't gotten too far into this one. I've got way too many games to play at the moment. But I mean, this is pretty standard Paper Mario game. Has the use stickers as attacks, but you know, it is kind of weird that, you know, it's all about collecting stickers, but it's like when you attack, you lose that sticker. So, you know, you just have to collect more and more and more. But it's still a fun game. I love Paper Mario games. Next up, Pilot Wings Resort. I think I got this on clearance for around $15 last year. And this isn't really too much of a game. It certainly feels more of a tech demo. I mean, there's still quite a few things you can do in it. You can ride around in a plane, a rocket belt, and a hang glider. But there are different missions for each type of vehicle. And the graphics in this are fairly good. It definitely shows off what the system can do. And the 3D effect is fantastic on it. Next up, Steel Diver. I got this for $5, so it's really not much of a loss. I mean, it's an interesting game, but it really feels like a tech demo, even more so than Pilot Wings Resort. There's just not too much game in this. I mean, the main point of this game is to get your sub from A to B. And, you know, you may run into some obstacles, you know, going underwater, different, like, rocks and things like that, and you have to destroy, like, mines and other submarines. And one of the, it's like, the most fun I had with this game was with the periscope, because you can actually move the 3DS around, and it'll move your periscope around, and you just have to line it up with other ships and just fire or torpedo. That was pretty fun. The controls for this, as far as controlling your sub underwater, are all done through the touchscreen, so it does take a little bit of getting used to, and even then I don't think it works all that well. I know that they've they've come out with a semi-sequel to this. That's a free-to-play game, which I haven't played yet, so I don't know if they made the game any better or not. Next up, we've got Super Mario 3D Land. If you have a 3DS, you have to own this game. It is so much fun, and I'm glad they revived the Mario Land name. But great game. 3D effect is great. The graphics are great. Really nothing else I can say about this other than, you have to pick it up. Next up, we have The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time 3D. This is probably one of the best Zelda games ever made, and the 3DS version is, in my opinion, pretty close to, if not the definitive edition of the game. I mean, it even has the Master Quest on it from the GameCube version of it. But, the reason that I say it's the definitive edition is that the touchscreen layout, I mean, you can equip your gear to different buttons on the touchscreen and just, touch them to use them. You have everything laid out on the touchscreen for you, and it just works really well. The 3D is great on this. It's just a great game overall. And finally, is The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. This brings the gameplay style back to how it was in A Link to the Past as an overhead view, and this game is phenomenal.